new episode of Welcome to Puttsville.
Yeah.
I'm one of your hosts, Buck.
Salty here, and we've got a really cool guest in-house tonight. Well, not in-house.
Not in-house.
In our screen.
Yes.
Brian Knudson. Did I say it right?
You did. You nailed it.
Yeah, nailed it. First try.
First try.
Yeah. So, Brian, why don't you introduce yourself? Give us the 30-second elevator. 30-minute.
Whatever you want.
Yeah,
Hey,
it's your
whatever
show, man.
whatever you
wanna
want.
do.
Let me get my note cards ready. I guess 30
Right,
minutes.
get your note cards ready. Yeah, and just tell us what you're doing, who you are, where you're from, and all that good stuff real quick.
Well, thank you, gentlemen. Buck, Salty. I appreciate you guys inviting me on. This is awesome.
Yeah, absolutely.
Of course.
I like following you guys and stuff on Instagram and all that. Like, big fans. I love that you just guys have a cool, laid back energy, and it's something I really kind of almost jealous of. But yeah, my name. I'm Brian. I work for Golf WRX, which has been amazing. But I started golf kind of when I was like 9 or 10. My dad took one of my younger brothers and I out. I was like 9 or 10. He was 7, 8. Went out and played this. The only thing I took away from the outing was it was this terrible course. It was totally brown, rock hard, and my dad just kept calling it a goat track as he was knocking the ball over.
Goat track. I always hear dog track, but I like the goat track.
And it was just it was a terrible course, and I knew nothing about golf. I was just learning all that, but started playing then, and then gave it up until all through middle school, high school, into basically college. I didn't play. I was playing other sports, running track, playing football, doing whatever. My sophomore year at college, I moved back home and was living at home, going to school here. And all my friends were at Michigan State, and I started working at a golf shop. And I first was just doing stuff with shoes and all that. And as I worked, man, I just got hooked. And then it was where, I had so much access to equipment. And this is like 2002-ish, 2003. So, I mean, there weren't really, the demo stuff, the fitting stuff, that didn't exist back then. But it was just, I had access to, the brand new TaylorMade drivers, Callaway drivers, whatever it was. And I would just hit balls in our net all day. I'd go to the range every morning because I had nothing else to do. It just, golf sunk its teeth into me, and I played all the time, and it just from then on became just my obsession, and I became just a club junkie guy, and I've loved it ever since. And then I started working at Golf WRX in 2016. I've known the owner; he's a Metro Detroit guy, and knew him from some events and some things locally, and came here and started working, and it's been amazing. I've kind of, I guess, been penned as the club junkie, and if you could see the rest of my basement here, it is a full-blown golf club workshop, and there are clubs everywhere. So,
like it should be.
Super jealous.
Like it should be.
Yeah, jealous of that.
But yes, I've been blessed, man. It's been an absolute great time. I've met some amazing people through golf, and had some experiences that I'd never have any other way, and it's been a blessing.
So Golf WRX, they have their hands in a bunch of stuff, like bunch of stuff.
Yeah.
What all do they do besides what they're kind of known for? I guess like there's a Golf WRX classifieds. There's tons of stuff.
Like I've always used it. If you have any golf question, know that you need that someone else in the golf community can answer. The
dumbest question you could ever possibly think of. There's an answer for it.
But great question. You can instantly, or not instantly, but pretty quickly, someone will hey, man, this is what I used. This has helped me in the past, and I feel like you guys have a pretty great community of people who use your website.
Yeah, no, so it started in 2005. Our owner Richard, he started in 2005. I became a member in 2006. I hung out some other golf forums, and it was only a forum. That was it. It was just a forum where guys could go and hang out, talk golf, whether you wanted to talk about your swing, courses, how to build equipment, stuff that isn't out yet, whatever. It started as that, and what's in the bags on tour, which is still kind of our bread and butter.
So people love that stuff.
It is absolute killer. Yeah.
Yeah. Love it.
But I joined in 06 because I wanted to start regripping my clubs. That was like when I started wanting to like really work on stuff, and I started kind of work like, what do I need? What is all that? And it blew up, and now I have a whole shop. But now we have a front page with articles and actual writers and all that. We do podcasts now. I actually do 2 out of the 3, which is crazy. And then, we have 2 guys who follow the PGA Tour around and take photos and get stuff from there. We do a little bit of video.
Cool gig.
Yeah.
Like I remember going to a yard sale and I found these shafts. They were called Tour Concept.
Yep. True Temper.
And they were brand new, uncut, and the guy was selling for 25 cents a piece.
Oh.
And I bought like all 30 of them.
Dude.
All of them. And then I went on and I asked people, and everyone was like, these shafts were so ahead of their time.
Yep.
It's not even funny. And in fact, I still play them in my 4 and 5 iron. And the 3 of them were like a dark green, and then the other ones were just gray.
Yep, they had 2 colors.
Yeah, but they almost looked like graphite, but they weren't.
Yep, they had that brushed finish. Yeah,
the brush finish. Yeah, and I was like, wow, I just liked them because they look cool. I didn't realize like these were like big time. I guess they just didn't really take off because they were so ahead of their time. I guess I don't know.
Yeah, I think they were like a flighted set where the long irons launched higher, the low irons launched kind of flatter, and they weren't cheap. They were expensive. Like they were a high end shaft. I mean, I never played them. Unfortunately, I didn't have that kind of cash when they were out there. And I unfortunately didn't.
I didn't either. I got them 25 cents a piece.
Yeah, so. I didn't run into anybody clearing them out. I wish I did, but
I don't think this guy knew what he had either. Like, because he couldn't even give me an answer like how he got them. I mean, maybe he stole them. I don't know, but 25 cents a piece. I said I'll take them.
Oh,
so
that's awesome
because it's hard being 6'8". You know, it's hard to find a deal on uncut shafts.
Yep.
You know, being as tall as I am. So
yeah, no, it is, and
you don't have to run into that problem, do you?
No, I'm like the average height of everybody. 5'8".
Well, I'm right with you, Buck. I'm 5'9", so
yeah. So you guys are normal.
Yeah, we're normal. Yeah.
So how does it work? Do the manufacturers just send you stuff and they say, "Hey, we want your feedback on this"? Like, I mean, you do balls all the way up to, you know, wedges, drivers, everything. So with the renown, with how good you guys are doing what you're doing, are they just sending you stuff and like you got stuff stacked up like waiting to test? And it's I mean, I can only imagine like you have just boxes stacked up outside your house sometimes just waiting to be opened.
Yeah, a little bit. I mean, kind of, yeah. I mean, it depends. So a lot of it, we'll get it before it even is announced. So, you know, if they have,
do they put parameters on that? Like, hey, don't say anything about this, but go ahead and test it, and then we'll let you know when you can talk about it.
You pretty much know. I mean, when they send you the stuff in, they'll send you an email with kind of like the press release, all the stuff that's going to come out on that day. And it depends. Sometimes you'll get it like months ahead of time. There's certain companies that have.
You know how many middle-aged dudes are so jealous of you? Like, they're just super jealous of you. Like, I mean, you know, like he's just getting just boxes of like free shit. Like it's, I mean,
yeah.
I'm sorry, I'm geeking out a little bit because I'm a golf junkie too. Like I have my sets from high school. Like I want to keep and hold on to everything, and you know, like we get stuff sent to us with the salty. I mean, nowhere near like what you guys get, but like it's really cool. Like when just shit shows up at your door and like, holy crap, man, it's awesome. Like I can only imagine like it'd be Christmas every day for you. It's nuts.
I mean, it really is. I mean, and that's the thing. Like I love about the game. Like, you know, there's people who love architecture, people who love, you know, perfecting the swing. Everybody has their own love of this game, and that's what's cool about it. And mine is legit equipment, whether it's a shaft, a wedge, a putter, whatever. I want to get it out on the course. I want to see how does it play, how does it feel, how does it sound, what does it look like, you know, everything about it. And yeah, I mean, there's times when during launch season, beginning of the year, where it is just like I kind of I should leave an envelope full of money out for my UPS and FedEx driver because it is just a constant barrage of boxes and clubs, and it's all stuff that's coming out and, you know, going to be out. And yeah, you're expected, you know, they give you the dates. Hey, you can't show this thing or whatever, you know, before this date. And you'll still like, I'll go.
Do you get tired of having to hit TaylorMade drivers every other week because they come out with one like every other week?
That's so
tough.
It's so funny.
Sorry, you don't have to answer that question. I'm just picking. No, I play TaylorMade. It's fun.
I kind of wish they would go back to once a week. It was great back then. You'd get, you know, you get to try way more drivers. So now
I think that's the difference between me and you. Like I geek out on equipment. Like I love it. I want to know why it's doing this.
Yeah.
I want to. You hit it. Okay, I like that. And I'm done.
Yeah. I only look at the look of it.
You could give two shits of what the shaft is.
I have no idea.
Yeah, no clue. You just know, like,
bit.
okay, I like that.
Yeah, I like that. I like this. We're good.
Right. I like the way it looks when I look down at it. That ball flight looks right. Let's go.
Yeah.
Doesn't matter.
I don't know.
But me, I want to do a 4-hour like session and try to figure it all out. Like, why does the Nippon shaft do this and the other shaft does not do that, but they're both extra stiff? Like, why?
Yeah.
You know, I want to know that knowledge. And he could give two shits, and that's fine. But that's what's so great about golf. Like, everyone has their own thing that they're into.
Yeah. And how about the fact that like you could go play a shaft that I could play a Nippon 105 and I'm like, man, it kind of launches high and, you know, has a little bit of spin to it. Even though on paper it's mid launch and, you know, mid spin, and then you could go hit it and be like, wow, it launches really low. And, you know, I don't hit it really high and I like that. And I hit this more penetrating ball flight with it because on paper, every product says it does this, but until you get your swing on it, it may not do that. And
right.
It's funny. I get a lot of questions of like, what's the best high launch shaft and da-da-da. Well, what I hit high and what you hit high could be totally different. Our swing, you know, everybody swings different. So,
right.
And that's the other.
I got a question. I got a DM today about like shafts.
Yeah.
And I was like, man, I can't tell you. Like, you've got to go test it. Like, my 6'8" frame is not going to do what your 5'11", 6'2" frame's going to do. And my swing, my little cut swing's not going to do what maybe your draw swing does. Like, I can't tell you, like, what it's going to do. You need to just go try it and see. Yeah. So that's always my answer to everyone.
Yeah. Well, so I do once a week, or at least I try once a week to do a little Q&A on Instagram. You know, I put up a thing. Today I did it on the main Golf WRX site, and then sometimes I do it on my Club Junkie podcast Instagram account. And I mean, you always get a handful of questions. Hey, I swing it 105. What's the best driver shaft for a, you know, TaylorMade Stealth 2? And you're like, that, you know, 105 doesn't really tell you much. I mean, it could maybe kind of get you into a flex, but I mean, in terms of, there's guys out there who take a low launch shaft and hit it sky high, and guys who will take a high launch shaft and hit it stupid low. And until you hit it yourself, or go to a fitter or whatever you do, you don't know. I mean, I can tell you what it does for me, but that, you know, your mileage is going to vary. So I still answer those questions because I know if I asked it, I'd want to at least hear something. But I try to preface it with like, hey, you know, your mileage is going to vary.
How many what's in the bags could you do a year?
Right now, well, so
like, are you constantly changing equipment?
Oh yeah, so I'll go. One of the funniest things was a couple of years ago. I was playing in my league. I played in a Thursday night league with a bunch of guys, and we don't take it real serious. I mean, we have points. You play against somebody for points, but really, it's have a couple beers and, you know, shoot the breeze, have a good time after work. I mean, it's. Yeah. And I went out, I shot a 33, best round I've shot at the little course we play at. And so I was 2 under, shot 33. The next day I went to play in the weekend on like Friday or Saturday, had totally different irons in the bag, different driver shaft, whatever. Like, I didn't care. Like, you know, I played great. I loved it. But that didn't mean I was going to play the same set, you know, the next day. So yeah, I switch it up. If I play the same 14 clubs and shafts more than 2 or 3 times a year, that's super rare. Super rare.
Do you think that hinders your game? Do you think if you got locked in on one set, you could be better?
Yeah,
I don't know.
I think so, but only probably by like.
But it's so fun to hit all the new shit, man.
but I think my game is my game, and I built it up as a demo day rep when I was working for Callaway years ago, and I went to the range, I hit all these balls, and I just like, my game's my game, and I don't work at it, I don't put in time on it, so I'm a bad 9. And I'm going to go out, and whether it's a driver I've never hit or a driver I've hit a million times, I'm still going to go out and probably shoot, you know, 84 or less or whatever. I'm going to go shoot like an 85 or an 84, and I'm going to go do whatever. And hey, maybe I get hot and I play a little better than that. But so far, I don't think it would change much more than a couple strokes.
Right. Yeah, that's cool. I got a question here. So let's take. I've thought about this question all day, and I'm really excited to talk about it. Like, I'm super stoked about this question. So, Callaway, Titleist,
TaylorMade,
Srixon, and who else? There's 5.
There was what? Titleist, Callaway. Because he asked me the question.
Ping.
That's what it was. Okay. Oh, Cobra.
No, we can't. Cobra. Okay, Big Six, whatever you want to say. You take a tour player, okay? A tour player. Are they really going to find much difference in any of those clubs because they're always hitting it in the center of the face? Is it more at the end of the day, and take away contracts and money and all of that, is it more about what it looks like at a dress for them? Do they like what they see visibly than actual performance? Because I can't think that if you're that quality of a player, a 6-iron in a Ping, Callaway, Srixon, blah, 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 is going to react much different if it's all set up the same way.
Yeah, I mean, it's been known, at least we've been told a million times, like the hardest piece of equipment to change is the ball. If a guy's playing a Pro V1, he's been playing a Pro V1 forever, and he goes to play a TP5 or, a Bridgestone or whatever it is, they say that's like the biggest change because the amount of spin, the curvature, all the things, like they really see it. I think I think you're right. I think there's a level of it where a tour player will adjust to anything. And you hear about that. Like we do a fitter's choice thing in the beginning of the year, and I get to talk to fitters from across the country. And it's interesting when you talk to them about low handicap players, like, really good players. And they say you can't let that person hit more than like 3 or 4 balls with a setup. Like if you put a new shaft in a head and hand it to them and you let them hit more than 3 or 4 balls, they're going to adjust and they're going to make that club work well and they're going to hit it good. And
that's different.
And pros is even like, to the nth extreme, to the next level of that. So, with that, I think there is a level of which those guys, if you handed them anything, they would go out and still play well. It just doesn't, if it's their specs, it's their loft, their lies, their lengths, all that, their shaft. I think any head you put on there, they're going to get it around the course. But I think there is stuff, whether it's visual or whether it is certain things, if you go take a 430 max head, G430 max head, and you put it in a guy who already launches it super high, like a Bubba or something like that. Like, well, he played the G430 max, but he played like an 8-degree head. But I mean, there's certain ways you could make it kind of finicky for them, but they're going to adjust. They're going to figure it out. They're that good. They're just such good players. They're so skilled that yes, I think they could make it work. But I think, like you look at now, all the guys who are free agents and the stuff that they're putting in the bags, you're seeing tons of Ping G430 LSTs, tons of Titleist drivers, a lot of, like Srixon irons and Mizuno irons and stuff like that. So they're gravitating towards certain things. But I think, if you said you have to go play a Callaway Apex CB, they're still going to go out and fire 60-something, with no problem.
Have you guys done the research of the people that are free agents on what they are gravitating to as far as irons go?
We haven't done put together like a percentage or anything like that, but I mean, we've got what's in the bags from guys like Jason Days and all that, and and they move around a little bit. Rose went through, and all of a sudden he went from like Hanma, he went from to Titleist. Now he's with his Cobra irons, and guys have kind of gone through. And Jason Day kind of went on a tangent. Now he's back to Tiger Blades, which he's never played before. He's playing MCs before. Now he's playing Tiger Blades. So they all kind of fit into like either a player's cavity back or blade type iron. And it just depends on, there was a lot of Mizuno at the beginning of the year. It seems some of those guys have switched out, but there's still a lot there. Srixon was big for a little bit. And then, you're seeing a lot of TaylorMade, especially Tiger P7 T-dubs. You're seeing those a lot on tour. So it a lot depends on the player. And I think, it all depends on what they hit, what they like. But I don't think there's one dominant set of irons. But there's a good amount of guys who switch between a lot of things.
Of the big manufacturers out there, who has the most money to spend on their players? Is it Titleist?
Poof.
Do they have the deepest pocket?
I don't know. The funny thing is, like, Srixon has crazy deep pockets from the umbrella that owns them. I just don't know if they get that money. But honestly, I would probably say,
well, they signed us, so
there you go.
And we weren't cheap.
No.
So
I wonder, it would be really interesting. I wonder, because you look at TaylorMade staff and they probably have the highest payroll of anybody, and Callaway is probably pretty darn close. Titleist is huge. I would guess that if Titleist isn't number one, I would guess that Callaway or TaylorMade is.
You know what I'm basing that off of? Why I said Titleist is their booth at the that they had set up at the
PGA show,
the special
PGA
booth,
show.
Yeah.
Like, were you there?
Oh yeah.
Yeah. We'll hopefully we'll see you this year or next year. But like I was telling him, I was like, when we walked in, I felt like I was supposed to take my shoes off.
Yeah.
You know, I was like
the white jackets.
I was walking into that room that Grandmom said never go into. You know, like that's what it felt like to me. So that was absolutely incredible. That booth, you can't even call it a booth. It was a building that they built,
a museum.
Yeah,
it was a nice museum.
Outstanding.
Well, did you guys ever go when Callaway and TaylorMade were at their heyday? And
no, this last year was my first year ever going.
I've been there the past 6 years.
Yeah. Then you saw some of those Callaway ones, some of those TaylorMade ones, absolute.
Oh yeah, like everything was so much bigger when you know, like my first year and
Callaway, like before COVID.
Before COVID,
yeah. Callaway rolled a tank in one year, like a legit tank was in there when they came out of the Tank Putter series. Had a legit tank in there. I mean,
that's awesome.
TaylorMade, I wasn't there for it, but I guess when Rocket Balls hit, they had something like this huge walkway. That was like this huge tunnel you walked down to get through, and it was marked with all like the, like 17 yards further and all this stuff. But yeah, those guys when they were coming used to spend they kind of make
what
titles look
TaylorMade
small.
claims I should be hitting the ball 450 yards.
You should be. I don't know why you're not.
No, I'm just kidding. I don't know why I'm giving Taylor. I mean, I play TaylorMade driver. I don't know why I'm giving him a hard time. I love my TaylorMade driver. It's just funny.
I got all three sitting over in the drawer over there. So I've hit them all. HD.
So take us through your bag right now. What's top to bottom, driver down to, or did he send it to us?
He sent it to us, so we do have it.
All right. So you go for it. Tell everyone.
All right. So this would be my, like, if I had to go, like if we were going to play like a 2-man best ball and we kind of were playing for a couple bucks and I had to, like, I could only bring 14 clubs and that was it. Right now, I go a Titleist TSR2 driver, 10 degree head with a Fujikura Ventus TR Blue, 6X.
Super popular shaft right now.
Yeah, I was playing the red in that for a while, and then for whatever reason, seeing Rory switch and a couple other guys switch into it, I was like, I need to give that another shot, and I just started hitting it really, really well. So that's been the gamer there. And then 3-wood is my Callaway Paradigm Triple Diamond 3-wood, and that's got a Fujikura Speeder NX 70X in it, which actually is, it's right over here. I got to cut the grip off, some epoxy broke loose in the shaft, so I got to get that off and regrip it. So, and then I get into a Ping G430 Max 7-wood.
7-wood, love that,
dude.
Love that. I added a 5-wood this year.
Yeah,
very versatile golf club. Very versatile.
So I never hit fairway woods well off the turf. Just never was my thing. I always was a hybrid guy. And Gen 5 PXG, I got to go to the launch event out in Arizona, and I was talking to the person who was fitting me because they fit you for clubs, and the woman doing it, she's like, do you play a hybrid? What do you play? And I was like, yeah, I hit a hybrid, but I'm like, man, I really want to hit something really high and soft. And she's like, ever thought about a 7-wood? I was like, yeah, I don't hit fairways that great off the turf and whatever. So she's like, well, let's just try it. And she built me up this 7-wood, and we turned it down 1 degree, made it flat because I hooked the ball, and I was just hitting these like stupid high straight balls just out in the range, just one after another. And I was like,
perfect,
let's give it a whirl. And I played that, absolutely loved it. I didn't think it was going to leave my bag. I thought that was going to be one of the few clubs that stays in. And then I hit the G430 Max, and it knocked it out. But that's got another Ventus TR Blue, but 8 stiff, so the 80 gram in stiff. And then I move into my irons, which is the 4 irons of Ping I crossover 4 iron with just the stock Ping Tour 2.0 shaft, 85 stiff. Yeah. That's set 1 degree up, and the 7-wood set 1 flat, 1 degree down. And then it's so sad that I can just rattle this off. And then irons.
No, I think it's wonderful. I love
impressive.
It. And then, I'm getting goosebumps as you speak.
And then my irons are brand new. I just got the brand new Titleist. I have the T200 in the 4 and 5. The 4 iron though, I play the I crossover. I play a T200 4 iron or 5 iron. The brand new Titleist ones with some steel fiber I110s. And then I play the T150 6-through pitching wedge, and those have been really, really good. I got those. I played with them once. I took them up to my big outing we do at the beginning of August and played some of the best iron play I've had in a long time. So those,
Nice.
so yeah, I 110 stiffs, and then I get into wedges, which is kind of a hodgepodge, and it may switch because I just got some new wedges to test out. But right now, RTX 650 degree mid bounce with the dynamic gold spinner 115, a PXG Sugar Daddy 2 54 BP grind with a
Why do you love that club?
the sole on that, it's narrow. It's not super wide. It's narrow. So you can open the face. If you play rock hard, the leading edge is still going to come up a little bit. But I love the fact that you can play it just a touch open, slam the bounce into the turf, and hit some really crispy little like 20, 30-yard wedge shots that just hit and stop. And it's
Gotcha.
and that grind just I'm just confident in being able to kind of hit it into the turf, and I don't get nervous like, ooh, I gotta pick it.
Is that something you think could stay in your bag for a while?
No.
No,
Nothing like that. That's the downside. Nothing.
I know, because you made it sound like this could be here for a while.
No,
like you sold me. I thought it was at least going to be in there 6 months. So new.
So that just went in. I had an RTX 6 that it knocked out that I was playing for a little while, and it was just digging too much. I need the full soul. But now that one's in danger because I have the new MG4 Tiger Woods 56 that I'm going to test against that. So we'll see how long the PXG lasts. And then I've got RTX 660 full soul with that same spinner 115, which is a great 60 degree. And then putter-wise, a Bettinardi BB8W with a Fujikura Graphite 115 firm putter shaft.
Now, the putter, does it stay for a while? I mean, are you constantly rotating that in and out too?
So I've got a couple bags.
Because putters are very personal.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And putters to me are very honeymoon time specific. That BB8W though has been very, very consistent. And the funny thing is I played mallets almost my whole life, and I messed with the 2021 version of it, and I loved it other than the sound and feel. It was kind of loud. It tinged a little bit. I didn't love that, but I made putts. The 2022 came out, and I hit a putt with it. I brought it down to my basement with my mat, hit one putt, pulled the shaft out, put the other head on, and that was done. It got knocked out instantly. And but
was it quieter?
Yeah, it's way soft. It's got a deeper mill to the face, so it's a little quiet, a little more muted. But I've got two bags. I've got the backup gamer bag full of putters, and then in the closet I have the putters that are kind of maybe they get out, maybe they don't. Depends on how bad things are going. So that's the gamer, but like I've got a Lab Mez 1 Max that I really like. That PXG Battle Ready 2. They came out with one called the Apache. I just turned it into a counterbalance putter.
What a cool name.
The Apache.
The Apache.
And I
awesome.
put a longer shaft, put a long grip, and a 50-gram counterbalance weight in it. And it's, dude, stupid stable.
I play it just for the name.
I wish I knew the song. What's that song that they always play in like Vietnam movies?
Oh, Fortunate Son.
Yeah, Fortunate Son. I can see like as soon as you take the putter cover off.
Yeah.
That's the song.
Or
yeah, little Seminoles.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
But then I've also got an Odyssey 5K, a Tri-Hot 5K number 7 over there with that what is it, KBS GPS graphite shaft in. So those
and the Pro V1X.
Yep.
You've been playing that a while?
Yeah. I've gravitated to the X just because I don't hit the ball very high. I'm kind of a flat ball guy, and I love to feel the Pro V1 better, but the X just flies a little higher and it adds a little spin, and it's a more consistent with the irons and wedges. So that's why I play it.
So do you have friends, buddies that come over, they come downstairs and they walk around like they're pouting or sad and they're looking at all your equipment, and then you finally just go, all right, man, just pick something. I'm tired of your attitude. Just grab something. I feel like I would do that. A lot of it's like, oh man, you got this. Like, that's awesome. You know?
So not so much of that, but I do have to say my two brothers and my dad and my father-in-law are always pretty happy when the end of the year comes and they get
I
some
bet
new
so,
stuff in the
man.
bag.
Because you can't keep it all, right? It's just you wouldn't even have room to walk around down there.
No, I mean, we do give away a lot of it on like the site. Like if you go into the forums every single week, we give something away. So like there's always, something.
That's
in there.
great, man. Giving back to the community. Yeah. That's awesome.
So like we'll always take stuff that, because there's other guys in the office too. So when stuff comes in, like I'll usually review it for my podcast and stuff. And then other guys in the office will claim stuff too. Like somebody will be like, oh, I want that, or, whatever. But the stuff that's left over, we usually give away on the site. and just, every week we have something up there where, hey, you want this 5 wood, it was hit 10 times or whatever, and we give it away to somebody. But yeah, my brothers and stuff, they tend to be very happy that they get refreshed every once in a while, which is nice by them. But no, I had a funny story. So I got a shop in my basement. I could do, and I love club building and stuff like that. And I had a guy one time, and I'll call him an acquaintance because he wasn't really like a great friend, but a great golfer. And he was like, hey, I want to come bend some irons, wedges, whatever. And I was like, yeah, come on over. That's fine. And we were talking about shafts or whatever. And he was like, yeah, I'm looking for something that does this, this, this. And I like open it. I have a whole drawer. You open up and it's just full of shafts. And I was like, yeah, you want something like this? And I pull it out or this. And then I showed him a couple shafts. And I think he was waiting for me to give him one. And I didn't. And I mean,
sir, you're an acquaintance. You're not a friend.
And like, yeah, it was almost like his face was just like what? Like, what, you're not going to hand me one of those? Like, I've seen that drawer. You got like 100 shafts in there. Right. And I was like, no, like.
Did you say this didn't happen overnight, man? Like,
yeah, this is
back up, man. This is years of hard work. That's what I would have said. Yeah, slow your roll.
I was just like, like, here's some options, but I'm like, I'm not just, giving stuff away to anybody. I mean, we got it. So that was kind of funny. And then he left, and I was like, wow, he was actually like a little upset that I just didn't.
Has he been back?
Yeah, once after that.
Once. To buy the shaft.
No. He got new wedges, and we had to if he got new wedges, we had to swap the heads or something.
I mean, you're already letting him bend his wedges for free, so I mean, settle down.
Exactly. Come on. So yeah. Now I'm building stuff all the time. I've got I got I-230s right behind me that are just dry now with axioms in them. So I got those built those and.
So do they send you the heads and then you build it, or is it just whatever, just a little bit of everything?
No, most stuff that anybody sends in is going to be a full club. It's going to have shaft grip, all that. It's very, very rare that someone sent. I've had a few times where people have sent in just a head because they'll say something like, especially more during COVID when like shafts and grips were tough to get, and they were like, well, we don't really have, like, all we have is kind of this, and I'm like, well, I mean, I can shaft it. And they're like, oh, okay, and they'll get you a head, but that's pretty rare. Pretty much everything comes as a full club, and then it depends. I mean, some places will send you stuff that is built to your spec, that they maybe fit you before or something like that, and they have your specs on file. They'll send you, and then other places will just send you stock, whatever the stock club is.
Yeah.
So it depends. And some of it, the stock stuff, I'll just hit it. And then other times, depending on what it is, I'll reshaft it or whatever and take it out. So it just depends.
So even if it's sent stock, you can give everybody a pretty good idea of what this club's going to do, right? You don't have to do a whole lot of tweaking unless you just want to.
Yeah. I mean, and honestly, like irons, like I play like stiff flex, between 100 and 120 gram shafts. I'm not looking for anything crazy exotic. And, I play standard length and lie. So, I mean, really.
You're just an average golf dude like the rest of us, man.
I mean, I'm
just an average dude.
Yeah.
I dig it.
I used to be a little upright, and I've gotten away from that. So I'm just, every time I've done in like any type of fitting and all that, I've been stock. And so it ends up working out really well. But like, certain companies will send stuff with shafts that you kind of like fit into better. But sometimes you just get, because sometimes if it's media samples, like it's whatever they have on file, and you'll get.
Sure.
But we've got it in where it's like, hey, here's a driver with a senior flex shaft or something. It's just for photos and all that. And I actually, for drivers, I use a system called All Fit that a lot of fitters use. So I can take one shaft and I can use it in every single head. And there's just like a little sleeve that fits on the drivers. So like I can take that Ventus Blue, like any of these shafts behind me can fit in any head that I have.
Wow, that's cool.
Yeah.
Lot less time consuming, I'm sure. Asking your question about the age, like the old.
We'll get.
Okay.
I'll get.
All right, I'm just excited about that.
No, I know you're excited.
Really excited about that question.
Just curious, the stuff that us everyday golfers, how much different is the clubs that we're playing with and the tour players are playing with?
Depends on the company.
Hot melt.
Yeah.
Or hot, whatever that stuff is, they inject.
Yeah.
Yep. It depends on the company. If you look at Titleist, it's the exact same stuff. I've actually been through the Titleist tour where they showed me like, here come the boxes in of all the driver heads or iron heads or whatever. And what they'll do is they're already sorted to a really high standard. At least Titleist does. Mm-hmm. and like their iron heads come in as like A plus, A minus, A whatever, and they're all sorted by weight. So like when you send in like a custom build and like Salty, you're 6'8", they're going to be like, well, we need light heads because these things are going to be long. Here's the shaft.
Oh yeah.
So instead of using monster tip weights or all this stuff, they basically have these things sorted. And when your order comes in, the shaft, the grip, the whatever, everything's sorted by weight. So they can pull. They're like, all right, we need D heads or whatever the heads, weight classification is. And then we need these shafts are going to be this long. So that way the tip weights they use are minimal, if anything. They have half of a gram tip weights in their little bins when they build. I've never seen half gram tip weights.
That's crazy.
But I was watching. They had a guy who was taking driver heads out of the box, and they were measuring them, scanning them, doing all these things for the tour players. So when that 8-degree head, they know that it's 8.6 degrees of loft, and it's this weight, and it's this whatever. And they had a separate thing where they'd sort them, but they came out of the same boxes that the heads you and I would buy, or anyone would buy at a retail store. Ping's the same way. They don't have anything crazy. TaylorMade's actually, they used to be the ones that had all the crazy wild, R1 V2s and these crazy prototypes. And really, Callaway's one of the few that has a ton of prototypes now that they only have for tour players, like Triple Diamond T, Triple Diamond S Paradigms. So those guys have some stuff on tour. I've been on the truck. I've seen all that stuff. It's pretty cool. I'm very fortunate to know Johnny Wonder, and he's taking me on the truck, and I've seen that stuff. But a lot of these companies, the stuff that you and I buy is the same. It's just measured to the nth degree for the guys on tour. So like when they have, a TSR2 head or a Stealth 2 head or whatever it is, they know the exact lie angle. They know the exact loft. They know if the face angle, if it's open, if it's closed, if it's whatever. They know the weight of it, everything. And then when whatever player wants it, they can pick the right head. Like you said, Salty, fill it with hot melt or whatever they need to do to get the weighting the way they want it, put a shaft in it, and they're good to go. So the days of totally separate stuff is a little behind us, except for Callaway.
Is it still smarter though? Obviously, it's smarter to get fit instead of just going in and saying, "Hey, I want that set of irons." You get fit, and then it would be smarter to order it from the manufacturer to your specs, so it comes like that. Or I guess if you go to a big box store and they fit you right, they're going to have to order it regardless, right? It's not like they can just pull it off the shelf and remake it, right?
It depends on the fitter you go to. I mean, there's fitters out there like Club Champion. You go and get fit, and then they send all those builds over to Chicago where they order just heads from Callaway. Yeah. So if you get fit to a set of Paradigm irons, they have all the heads there, and then they match it up with the shaft that you got to fit into and all that. And the one bright spot about that is that if you get fit into a shaft that Callaway doesn't offer through their custom fitting, which they offer a lot, but if it's a shaft, like an Acra shaft or something like that, Club Champion can build it. And a lot of boutique, builders who have those accounts who can, they just get heads or whatever, and they can build it to whatever you want. The OEM thing is great. The only downside is if they don't offer a shaft that you either like or get fit into, you then have to find something close or, move on to the second choice or whatever that is. So there's pros and cons to both. I love the idea of a fitter that has the ability to build anything that you want or anything that you need, just because it's...
Yeah, there's the fitter out behind True Blue. What's his name?
Dresser, Steve Dresser.
He's the same way. Like he's going to put you in what you're supposed to have. He's not like loyal to any one shaft or brand or anything like that, which is really cool. Really cool.
For sure. And it also depends, because some people don't, I think a lot of it can play into budget too. Like if you go in, and I think if you go into a fitting, you need to be honest with your fitter. Hey, listen, here's my budget on irons. I want a set of irons. Here's my budget. Don't go in and don't say anything. And then the guy puts you into some crazy exotic shaft, crazy heads, whatever. And all of a sudden it's a $3,500, $4,000 set of irons. And you had no...
I can afford 2 of those, right?
Yeah. But if your budget is, $1,800 or whatever it is, like you need to just be honest and be like, hey, this is where I need to be topped out at. And then you can work around those limitations and maybe only do something that OEM offers or whatever. I mean,
that's a great tip. That's a great tip.
Yeah.
You let them know up front, like, hey, I'm at $2,000, man. What can we do?
Yeah. Like I walk in and I'd be like, I'm a Titleist snob. Yeah. Just letting you know. Right. I only play Titleist.
As $100 bills are just falling out of your
$100. Yeah, exactly.
Country club kid.
Yeah. So
Only
Speaking-
pull the expensive JDM, Mioras, Epons. Only pull the expensive stuff. That's all I want.
Right.
Right, exactly. Yeah, I don't want. I want to see my face in the club right before I hit. Like I want it shiny and
Hein Malberets with the 24 karat gold. I want that.
Yeah,
right.
I think I was at one year. I had I was at the PGA show, and Bentley had not a booth, but one small kiosk with a lady who was dressed up as like a robot, and she was like just doing this the entire time. And they were like, and they were like introducing irons. I mean, no one, I don't think anyone ever bought any, but she was just sitting there for like 5 days. For 8 hours, just roboting it.
I want to
Were
say,
there clubs there too?
Yeah, the clubs were there. Yeah,
interesting.
They were made by. They might have been made by Vega or somebody. There was a Japanese company that made them all for them, and they basically made.
Really?
Yeah, they were like a high-end Japanese forging house that made all those for Bentley. So I have no idea what they cost or anything. They were probably
it was ridiculous. I can't even remember, but I just laughed
ridiculous.
at it. Ridiculous. You can't afford this.
just melt your credit card right off.
Exactly.
That's right.
But speaking about, also, I wanted just to mention, like with golf balls, I'm a kind of person where I can't really tell the difference between golf balls and stuff, but I do play, again, being a Titleist snob, I do play the
Super
Pro
snob.
V1X, but I have been playing the left dash, which I've been enjoying. It's hard to find a left dash because they seem to run out.
Yeah.
But just curious on what you think, just because it's the only ball that I noticed. I was like, wow, that does go a little farther.
Yeah. Left dash. I played, I messed with left dash right when it came out. I think they sent a box in, and I'm not a high ball, high spin type guy. So it was the same thing. It was like driver. I was like, whoa, this thing goes a mile. And then it would I hit like an 8-iron into the green, and it would just hit and keep rolling. And I was like, it's probably not going to work well for me. The other thing with the left dash.
You hit a really high ball though.
I do. Yeah.
Yeah. You hit it really high.
Yeah. Left dash seems to be a little flatter. But I just honestly, I didn't like, there was also a really firm feel, and Pro V1X is about the end of the line for me when it comes to firmness. And like I said, I wish I could have the Pro V1 feel in the VX, but yeah, the ball was too firm, and I couldn't spin it enough with the short game to make it work for me. So that's why I've just kept with the standard Pro V1X.
Why is it hard to find that golf ball?
I don't know.
It's like a limited
demand.
No, well, that, and I think they don't like, it's not produced like Pro V1 and Pro V1X. I don't think it's like a main line always made. I think they only make batches of them. And then when the batches kind of get low, they start making more, but it's not like a constant inline product.
So you can't go to like Acres, our golf store, and find those.
So our buddy Hudson, you can find him in the used golf bins. He gets like he gets. It's a good day when Hudson finds a left dash in the used ball bin. But no, I found a couple. I found there's one like weird off the wall. Like,
so you've only used used ones?
No. I found like some off, like I think it's called Polly's Golf, and I think they mostly just sell like what are the good shirts or something like that, or like
they sell bootleg left dash.
Exactly. Yeah. But also I was just looking online too, because there's also, I guess the tour players, do they play the left dot?
Yeah, there's a dot, there's a left dash, and then
so there's a lot going on.
Yeah, depending on, and then some of those players play like the 2019 Pro V1, like they don't play the 22, 23.
Oh, really?
They play the 19, or they play this because to them.
Speaking of that, Brian, did you see that story of the guy? I don't remember who it was, but he lost his ball, but it was like a 2022 Pro V1, and he borrowed a ball from another player, and it was a 2017 Pro V1 or something like that. And he got DQ'd, right? Or he didn't?
No. So what happened?
Something happened.
Or he did something, and his caddy had two different balls. He was on the putting green, whatever, and he meant to not grab that ball. The other one, the 2022 or whatever it was, realized it was like a 19 or 17 or whatever was the one he actually teed up and played. And he realized that, he couldn't lose the ball because that was the only one that he had. And
That's
he made
crazy.
it.
But it was still a Pro V1X or something. Same ball, but just a different year.
Yeah. And the markings on it are slightly different. So because if you were to go play like a real event, you have to play the same ball, same year, model, everything. It has to be identical. I mean, the numbers can change if you want, but it has to be the exact same ball. the whole round. So if you lose whatever, you got to keep putting those ones in play.
Yeah, so Buck and I are getting ready to play in the World Am here in Myrtle Beach. It's the largest amateur tournament in the world. Like over 3,200 golfers are in town.
Like 65 flights or something.
Crazy, like 60-some flights. It's nuts. It's a lot of fun though. But there's some of those like hardcore like rule guys down here, and then there's some that they could care less. But
like in the higher flights, you'll definitely get guys where it's like, oh, this is my putting ball. And this is my driving ball.
Right. And you're like, hey,
no, you can't do that.
Yep.
It's more of a lesson in the higher flights. It's more of like a teaching opportunity on the rules of golf.
Yeah.
It's funny though.
I play with a guy in my league who does that, who plays the ball, and then he gets on the green, he swaps it out, and he puts down a different ball. And the worst part is I play him for money every week. Like we bet on the round every week. I got to give him 2 strokes, and I watch him do this, and I give him crap about it. Well, I give him crap about it. I'm like, hey, that ain't the same ball, and he's like, oh. I'm just like, why am I giving you 2 strokes?
You lost.
Yeah.
Like, what the hell am I doing
Here's
here?
your penalty.
I'm an idiot.
But you just accept it.
Because it's that much sweeter when you beat him.
Oh yeah.
That's right.
Oh,
yeah, that's right.
Yeah,
I get it.
I call it bun boy golf. This is my I have these. They're back home. There's these 2 guys that just if they would find any way to win, they would find a way. And so anytime someone does like something like that, and the reason why they're called, they both had man buns at the same time, and they're brothers.
Oh boy!
So I call them the bun boys, and so I refer to anything like weird and golf wise bun boy golf. But yeah. So the question I wanted to ask that Salty brought up earlier. So obviously there's so many. You guys do all what's in the bag on the tours and stuff. What do you think? Who do you think, or what club do you think is the oldest club on tour? Would it be? And like my guess would be like Tiger's putter or something like that.
Daniel Berger's irons.
Yeah, well, Berger's irons were 14, so the Tiger's putters got that beat. It might actually be Tiger's putter because he put that in like that was right after he won his first Masters with the Terillium, and then he switched over. So that probably is one of the oldest. I don't know. Parnovic's got
that didn't Luke Donald played an old 3-wood forever.
Yeah, and
I don't think I think he's like in a Sim 2 now, but he had a 3-wood like that he found in like a bargain bin or something. It was crazy. He's like super old.
Yeah, and he played an Odyssey number 7 or an Odyssey number 7. What is an Odyssey Pro number 7 or something like that? He played that thing forever up until like this year. He finally switched it out for something new. So he had that in the bag since like 13 or something like that. He'd had that in the bag. There was a pro that played at the PGA Championship from like Florida, and I don't remember. He was a PGA sectional pro, made it there, and he had a ton of like RBZ. I think he had like, what was it? It was RBZ driver, like an RBZ 3-wood, and he had like TP,
like the Whitehead,
the old, white and green
like
one,
rocket balls, or
yeah,
or the yellow and black one.
No, that was stage 2. No, he had the original rocket balls in, and then he had.
I love that driver. That driver was money. I had that driver.
He had
the 9-degree tour in that thing, and it was a rocket launcher.
Yeah.
Like that thing, it was good.
I mean, the paint chipped as soon as you looked at it, but it was
did,
good,
100%. But
I'm
not a fan of the white heads. It's kind of like me and white belts. Like I don't like.
It's not like
this. I hate white belts, and I hate all white heads. Like I just can't do it.
But he had some 2011 hybrids that were like rescue TPs that were from like 2011, 2009, something like that. And they were still in his bag. And I think they had like upgraded shafts, but that was one of the oldest that I can remember seeing. I mean, Phil put that Ping Answer hybrid back in, which is old now too. He had that back in the Live Tour. And that thing.
I don't remember what year it was, but my dad for Christmas got me a TaylorMade TP hybrid. It was right when hybrids were really like Adams was like breaking, like they were doing it all, and it was a hybrid with an adjustable head.
Yeah.
And I thought I was the shit because I had that golf club. And it was the old UST Mattia black and yellow shaft.
Oh yeah. The yellow bottom and the black. Yeah. They had the red, the green, the black. Yeah.
Right.
Those are awesome.
And that thing, I'd show everybody, look at this. Look what I can do with this club. I can move it around, do whatever I want to with it. Yep. It was a 19-degree. I thought I was just the bee's knees when I had that thing.
Yeah, UST, the Axel.
Still have it, actually. Yeah, I still have it.
I just took out my hybrid. I had the TaylorMade Rescue. like the first one.
That's right. He had the TaylorMade Rescue forever.
Yeah.
Like
I just
the
took it out of my
OG.
bag like a month ago,
got a Titleist,
and I've had it since. I mean, yeah, I think that was the first club I ever owned that was just mine.
That's awesome.
But
sentimental, man. Sentimental.
Yeah. First tour issue club I ever had that I owned was a Rescue TP with a paint brake hosel, because they could bend the hosels on the tour van.
Yeah.
Nobody around here could bend them because you have to have a special clamp. But I had a paint brake, 20 degree or whatever it was. I had one.
Mm-hmm.
It was pretty much, unfortunately, it was the exact same as the retail model. I was kind of bummed, but whatever. It was cool.
That's cool. All right. So we like to end the show with 9 random questions.
Oh, boy.
Okay.
Okay.
I'll go, then he goes, then I go, just
All
like
right.
that. All right.
The lightning
Are
round.
you ready? Yep. So what is your favorite, other than clubs, what is your favorite thing in your golf bag?
Whew. I don't know if I necessarily have a favorite, but I do have I've got a divot repair tool. It actually looks like this one. Oh, this one that's sitting on my desk that I've had for like 3 years, and it's just like a Golf WRX one. We unfortunately can't even find it. The company we order them from don't make them anymore, and it's unfortunate. But I've got one that I've had in my bag for like 4 years, and like it's actually like it's worn down, like even a copper on the prongs now and all that.
That's cool.
And the ball markers lost the enamel, like it's all, and it's kind of cool. I don't know why I like it, but it's the one that's in my gamer bag. I switch bags.
You need
too.
a good golf accessory that you're in love with.
Always.
I've got that, and I thought I lost it this year, and I found it again in a bag. But I go through. I've got like 3 bags. I've got a waterproof bag for the rain. I've got my carry bag. I've got a cart bag, and I've got another bag coming tomorrow.
Of course you do.
Of course I do. So I, in terms of moving stuff around, I pretty much have everything in groups of 3 or 4, so it can fit in each bag. So I don't have to worry about getting stuff out. So I don't carry anything too sentimental. Anything that I have that's like sentimental, I've got a little cabinet over here that's got like my grandfather's hole-in-one card, stuff like that.
Do you have a staff bag?
I do.
I bet you do.
A vessel.
Do you have your name on it? Do you have your name on it?
It does have the Club Junkie logo on it though.
You should have your name on it, man. That would be awesome. That Club Junkie logo is really cool, by the way. Great logo. Big logo guy here. Yeah, really good logo.
Actually, I do have a staff bag. It's on the front of my desk. You can't see it. It's a Callaway X Hot from 2013 that has my name on it.
Nice.
So I've actually got 3 staff bags, but that one does have my
name.
name.
You know what? I get so much hate, but I love a staff bag.
So do I.
I love it.
I do too.
I love it when you drop that club and it makes that doing noise at the bottom.
Bounces up.
And it bounces up. And I can put, like, we host golfers. Like, I need a lot of room.
Yeah.
For shit. And staff bag does it. And I'm not a walker. I'm not a walker.
No.
Do I look like a walker?
No, you do not.
So, I mean, we walk the short course.
Yes, we do. We walk
some courses, but I love a staff bag.
Yeah.
I just do. I love it. All right, your turn.
Oh, my turn?
Yeah.
Is there a club that you think, and again, this is very basic, that you think is like the best looking? Like, is there a club that you're like, that is a sexy club?
Like all time or like right now?
Like, for me, it's my irons. I messaged it to you, the 2022 T200s. When I look at those, I go, that's a sexy club.
Yep.
That's a sexy club.
Yeah, I mean, if you're talking about like current model stuff,
or even old or whatever,
all time. I mean, it's funny that I just actually got the question on somebody asked me about like my favorite looking blade. I'm not a big blade guy. Like I don't have the game, so I mean I respect him, but it's not my thing. And I honestly, for whatever reason, have a weird soft spot for the Callaway prototype MB that they came out with back in like 07, something like that like little X pattern that it made on the back of the cavity and all that. And a little,
when this goes to production, can you flash that up there?
Yeah, I can.
Yeah. That prototype MB, for whatever reason, I always just loved it. I got to play with a set because I was doing Callaway demo days back in like early 2000s, and they just come out. I was playing a course with some other guys that were doing demo stuff, and they had a set on this like van, the Callaway van that drove around. And we were going to play, and they're like, "Oh, you want to play them?" And I was like, "Yes." And I played terrible, so bad with them. But I didn't care because they were so cool.
They were pretty, baby.
Yeah,
they were sexy.
I hit like one green in regulation. It was a par 3, and I just like stuck it to 10 feet. I was like, yes. And I was like, these are nowhere going near my bag. But I love that MB for whatever reason. I loved it.
Mm-hmm.
The sexiest blade, I think, personally for me, was the Shrixon 965 blade.
Oh yeah, yeah. Those
That
9
thing
series
was
is really good.
Yeah, super sexy.
Yeah.
Super sexy.
Super sexy.
Current club, I give it to the P7TW, the TaylorMade. Those Tiger Woods blades are just stupid with the milled soles and all that.
Mm-hmm.
They look so good. So
yeah,
good.
I agree.
Yeah.
Can't
All
blame.
right. My turn. Question 3. Obviously, my turn. Question 3. Will Tiger Woods win again?
Oh, man. So this is terrible because when I do TG2 and my buddy Andrew, he's such a Tiger Woods fan, and I do love Tiger, but I'm not obsessed. I don't think he will. I want him to. I want to be. It's one of those that
You want to be wrong.
I
You'd
want
love
to
to be wrong.
I want to be
Yeah.
wrong, and I was wrong when I said he'd never won another major, and then he came back and won that 19 Masters. I said he'd win,
Yeah.
but he'd never win a major. I was proven wrong there, and it was the most amazing time to watch a Masters. I don't think so, but I hope to be proven wrong.
I don't think he's ever going to play anything but majors from here on out, if he plays ever again.
There's no need to.
Yeah.
I think he plays his event in the Bahamas, and he plays majors, and that's
And the PNC.
I'm hoping for he might come to the Myrtle Beach Classic next year. I heard. Maybe.
Oh yeah. That's one of those mandatory events, right?
Yeah. Who knows? It'd be good. It would be good for the city.
Yeah. The city needs it. I'm just
I would love like a Tom Watson moment with Tiger, like just something like that, and because I think no disrespect to Tom, I think Tiger could have finished it. Like I hope there's some kind of moment like that down the road. But
it'd be amazing. I mean, like I said, it's one of those I hope to be proven wrong. I'm a little bit of a pessimist when it comes to his health. Unfortunately,
I do think like I look at like a Freddie Couples and some of those guys on the Champions Tour with the equipment today, and I really do think a 55-year-old man can still win a major championship. I think it's out there. I mean, you got to catch lightning in a bottle, but I think it can be done.
How old was Phil?
Phil was 50.
Okay.
Phil was 50.
Yeah. And
I mean, that was phenomenal what he did, but he believed that he could do that. And he did it. I mean, I don't know. I think it's with the technology and how these guys' bodies are nowadays. I mean, they take care of themselves.
Yep.
I mean, what's Freddie still hitting? He's still carrying it 290 yards, 285, something like that. The guy's freaking machine. His back sucks, but you know, I still think one of those old dudes could win a major.
Well, I mean, look at Michael Block. How old was? I mean, he's not a young guy, and he's a PGA pro, and all of a sudden, the guy, top 10 to U.S. Open.
Yeah.
So, I don't.
He said something. That was that struck me. He said, if I was as long as those guys, he would be winning on tour. Like, I don't know.
Took some heat from that one.
Maybe.
Yeah,
that's strong. Shoot your shot. Shoot your shot, Block.
I guess so. He did. He shot it.
It's your 15 minutes. Go.
That's right. Clock starts now. All right.
On tour, I mean, I know we just talked about, the oldest club on tour. Is there a club that kind of stands out to you that probably the most unique club that's maybe a little different that no one else is really playing, if that comes to mind?
I mean, I think if you look in Charles Schwartzel's bag, that guy always seems to have something weird and quirky. And he's not playing anymore, I don't think, but he was playing like basically a lab-esque where the toe of the putter stays straight up version of a PXG putter that they made for him. And I know it only lasted a kind of a short time, but it was one of those just like, he could have went and got something from Axis One or Lab, or Odyssey made some stuff for a while. And he rocked that, like this custom PXG for a while. That was just really, really interesting. And I before that, and I know it's not in his bag anymore, but it was just really interesting. It always stood out, like, really? Like, that's where you went? But okay. And then a little bit of, now it's a mainstream thing, but when Ricky first put in the Jailbird was really interesting because I loved the Jailbird back in the day. I thought it was a great putter. I didn't have a counterbalance long one, but just a standard one, and thought it was a phenomenal putter. And to see it go
It's
back,
sexy, man. That long grip and everything is fucking
it was
sexy.
It was super
I love
cool.
that thing.
When
I probably can't get one. Like they're like can't find one.
No, they're like reselling them. I think for like $1,000 on eBay or something like that, or $800. But I always thought when he first put that in play, I was like, man, that's really cool to see the Jailbird back with the Versa lines, all that. I was pretty excited to see that make a comeback.
Yeah. Okay. Why does the owner of Lab Putters hate Scotty Cameron?
I don't know. I know Sam Hahn, who
I love his commercials. Like those are hilarious.
Dude, he's
I just
such a smart dude. Like super smart, super nice, funny guy. I didn't know that he did hate him, but
well, he does. He doesn't, but he knocks on Scotty like in those commercials. Like it's pretty. It's pretty funny. Like I'm not a Scotty guy and I'm not a Lab guy, so it's just it's funny to see him say that stuff. I don't know.
Yeah, I mean, I've got.
It's great marketing. It's great marketing.
I have a Mez. I had a Mez 1, the original one. I have a Mez Max right now. Like it's sitting right there in a bag that I pull out when putting goes. Like when putting starts getting rough, I put that in the bag. Like that's like kind of my crutch. But I'm not a Scotty. I have one Scotty Cameron in my collection, and it's an old oil can Catalina 2 that I had one. I sold it because I was like young and stupid and wanted something shiny and new. I got a phenomenal deal, like a friend of a friend on it. It still like has oil can on it. So I'm not like I used to kind of collect them. I used to have like 8 at a time. I sold them all. I don't know. I look at Scotty's stuff and everybody dogs him and they try to say like, oh, he just stole a bunch of Ping designs. But man, when you hold some of that new Super Select stuff, what he gets right on some of the details and the lines on his putters and how he does. And I love all, like on Instagram, you can see all these little boutique putter guys and I love it. I follow like tons of them, love them. And what you notice is that they come out with a Newport 2 style head and there's always something on it that's a little off. And it's usually like the curvature of the sole isn't quite right, or there's some line on the back, or the top line's a little too thick or a little too thick. And Scotty has that stuff perfected. And you never, ever look at one of his putters and think something is proportionally off. And for that, and the little details like the I-beam plumber's neck and the little things like that he does so perfectly well from years of doing it, I respect that a lot. And now you can say a milled stainless is a milled stainless putter. That's fine. Stainless comes from the same place. I'm fine with that. But I think his experience, his years of doing it, and the little things that he nails that other guys don't, I think still gives him a place that you have to put respect on his name. I just think you do. And you can
100%.
You can like him or 100%. Not. But to say, oh, he just makes a new or an answer. Look at his answer next to a lot of answers. Like his is so refined, and I don't own one, but I respect it.
How many wins does Scotty have?
Oh God, it's got to be an absolute ton.
Do you think it's more than Odyssey?
No, I don't. Only but because I bet it's he's number 2 for sure. But I think Odyssey. I mean,
who would be third? Ping?
Yeah.
Or Wilson?
Nah. Well, I guess if you went back in the day, like Wilson claims they have the most majors out of any manufacturer because they won all the majors in 1912.
Well, true. There was a time that was the only person making golf.
Yeah, there was no Callaway Taylor. There was none of these guys.
Right.
So yes, technically, but no. I think Odyssey's still number 1 only because it seems like everybody's playing in Odyssey who's not on contract guys, but I bet Scotty's right behind him.
Yeah.
So my question, so you're just mentioning, smaller putter companies. Is there any, not counting like the big ones that we mentioned earlier, is there any smaller golf companies that you think deserve more recognition?
I think there's a bunch. I mean, when you get into, especially like the putter companies, I mean, some of these guys are just absolute amazing machinists. I mean, Tyson Lamb, I mean, I was never like the monster, like I have to have some Lamb stuff. But I mean, again, you look at the stuff that he milled and the stuff that he did, and it was, I mean, he still does. I talk a lot with Josio from MacMade, and he is just a super nice guy, just a super smart guy. I mean, we talk about he was doing cars and metal work on cars and stuff like that before he started doing putters. And I'm a Detroit guy, so of course, like I'm into cars, and he was, sending me stuff and like, look at this frame I did, da 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 da. Him, I mean, Logan Olson, phenomenal as well. there's a
shout out Duff Meridian Putters.
Yeah, Meridian. I mean, those guys. I talked to those guys at the show, and man, just some of the cool stuff that they can do.
I've been playing a Meridian
side.
for 3 years now. Like I don't know if it'll ever come out of the bag. I absolutely love my Meridian putter.
Yeah, one of these
Really
days,
cool.
I'm gonna let I'll talk my wife into letting me blow some coin on a Mac made, because I think, like I said, Josie over there does some really cool stuff. Him and I have talked about a few little concepts and stuff like that. And but yeah, I mean, like what is it, like it's like Nordberg or something like that out of like the Netherlands or something, do some really cool kind of industrial looks. And it seems like I find a new one every day. Like there was just one, I wish I could pull up my Instagram. There was one I found just the other day, and I was like, man, that's really cool. And I went on their page, and I was like, oh, those are some sweet putters. So followed them. And it's kind of like head covers, like you see somebody make cool head covers and you just have to follow them. But I've been the same way with a lot of the little putter companies, because there's a ton. And then
I've seen a lot of wood putters here lately. Wooden putters.
The Goodwood has done a lot too.
Mm-hmm.
Goodwood, that guy's. I mean, they do some amazing stuff there.
And Bradley, is it Bradley? Bradley makes
some
wood putters too, doesn't he?
Oh yeah, those. Yeah, I mean,
like the
it's epoxy.
Colored the colored
Yeah.
pencils. I always thought those were pretty cool.
Yeah, I mean, Brandon Matthews. I mean, there's so many putter guys. I mean, out there.
That's what's so cool about the golf Instagram world, family, whatever you want to call it. Like it's so there's enough to go around for everyone, and it's a really cool vibe to be a part of. Like it's just the Salty Golfer, we have our own little thing that we do, and what you're doing, and it's really cool to see everything that is going on in the world of Instagram, social media, golf wise.
Yeah.
It's really cool.
Very cool. It's very.
All right, who is this? You don't have to answer this if you don't want to. Who is your favorite golf influencer? Like, who do you like to watch? Like, whether it's funny or
Man, that's interesting. I mean, I kind of was. I mean, I was kind of like on Brian Golf for a long time. Brian LaRoche.
Yeah.
I was, because Johnny Wonder was good friends with him. Johnny worked for Golf to Brex for a while, so I kind of got turned on to him really early. And I always thought he was an entertaining guy, but he's really smart and he's a great fitter and he's a good player. And it was just like he was like a really like the package. And now he's doing his own thing with his own fitting shop. He's doing his own events. He's doing a lot of cool stuff. And he was a guy that I really kind of got into early and thought that he was doing some really cool stuff. And he's blown up.
He's down in Florida, right? He's down in Florida.
And I feel like he's still kind of underrated. Like he's still kind of undervalued a little bit compared to some of the other people out there. But, I don't want to, sound like I knock whatever, but like the good guys and the Barstool guys, whatever. And I think I'm just a little too old for that. Like I get it. I totally understand their audience and what they do, but like I go play golf and if somebody makes a big putt, whatever, we'll high five, but I'm not chest bumping and pounding, shotgunning beers and, going nuts like that. That just isn't me. And I mean, I'm 43 years old or almost 43 years old. I've got a wife and a daughter. Like I don't relate to that very well. I relate to some of the other stuff. So there's a new kid coming, Jake Morrow, who I really think is him, and I've he's just started a thing called I think it's called Fairways and Greens or something, or For the Range, and super smart kid, and really really nice, and he's starting to kind of do his own thing. So I've been following a lot of what he does, but it's kind of guys who get more into the kind of the fitting technical side and the equipment side that I get to. The guys, having a good time partying on the course, I don't relate with it as much because that's not what I do. So,
I get it.
I mean, the Salty Golfers, he's aight.
He's okay.
Yeah, Salty Golfer's pretty good.
A little overrated.
He's all right. A little slightly overrated.
Just a little overrated.
I mean, I love his beard because we both got a little gray going. We both got a little gray, a little salt and pepper. I like that.
That's right.
I lost track.
My mom loves me, and she thinks I'm really good. Yeah, she thinks I'm really good. That's and my wife. That's all that matters.
That's all that matters.
I don't know what
Dale
number
Griffin.
we're on, but I feel like this could be a longer. What I don't know if you have the email we sent over our what's in the bag, and we were kind of wondering if you could, I don't know, rate it, judge it, guess the handicap,
like
or
a Barstool pizza review.
Rating?
Where do you think our club setup stands?
Well, the one thing I do have to ask, because I think this is great, and I love what's in the bags from everybody, because I love seeing what different people do. The one thing though is Salty. I don't have the top end of your bag, so you're gonna have to fill me in on what
Oh, yeah,
driver
you didn't send the
Oh
top
yeah,
end.
sorry.
that was. And putters. I don't have either one of your putters. So
okay, I'll do the top end first.
All right.
I have a TaylorMade. What's the first one?
Sim.
I'm sorry, I'm blanking. What's the new?
Oh, so the Stealth.
But I have the first
Stealth?
one. The
first
original
Stealth. Yeah.
Sorry.
But
Okay.
are you talking about the new one that you just worked on that we played at Caledonia?
Yeah, I'm not counting that.
Okay, never mind.
I built myself a mini driver.
Oh, nice.
I built my
He was
own
rocking
mini
it the
driver
other day.
Yeah, and we played Caledonia, and we were only playing like 5,500 yards. I was like, well, I don't need a driver today, so I'm going to build a mini driver. But
I like that.
That's another episode.
Okay.
I have the Stealth Series 1 or whatever you want to call it, and then I have the UST Mamiya Addis Shaft 2019 model in a 6X.
What
So
what color?
It's got all the different colors.
Oh,
It's
yeah. Okay. Yep.
all the different. I absolutely love that shaft. Then I have 3-wood. I've got the original M2.
Oh, yeah. The 2016 one. Yeah.
And I have the blue UST Mamiya. Is it Line Q? I think is the shaft.
Yeah, the Link. Yeah, Link Blue.
Link. Sorry, not Line Q.
The M40X. I don't.
Yeah.
I've got one. It's over there. Yeah, it's really good.
And then I go back and forth. Sometimes I have Sim 2 5-wood with a it's the shaft right before the Ventus came out. It took the place of the Ventus. I cannot think.
It was the Speeder Evo series. So there was a Speeder Evolution 1, 2, 3. It was like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, something like that. There's 6 of them.
Yeah.
What is a blue one?
It's a blue one. It looks just like it's got the same color of the Sim 2. It's the same. It's a really pretty club all put together. It all matches really nice. I think
that's the 2, which was the low launch version.
I love that club. Super versatile. And then sometimes I'll pull that out and I will go with a Shrixon XZ 19-degree hybrid.
Oh yeah, the ZX hybrid
with a UST Mamiya Pro Force V2, the yellow and white shaft, the neon with the red trim.
Yeah, the new version one.
Yeah, the new version. And then putter, I have the Meridian Charleston edition with our logo. He customized it for us with our logo in the back of it, and then the nautical address. The digits.
That's pretty cool.
Of where we live.
They do some cool milling on their stuff, man. Like some of the custom stuff is really, really cool.
And it's raw too, so it's nice, it's got some good patina to it. Yeah. So that's and then irons are I've got the old 7 Z85s 5 and 6.
Yeah.
And then I've got the XZ7 7 through pitch and wedge.
Yeah, that's an interesting combo. It
is an interesting combo, but it does work for me. Everyone says that are golf geeks. They're like, man, that's weird. And I'm like, I know, but I just love that 5 and 6. I have the X7, the XZ7s all through, but I don't know. But those two clubs have that shaft in it we were talking about earlier. The
Tour Concepts.
Tour Concepts.
Yeah.
And I don't know, man. I just hit them so well and so high, and I can get them to stop on a dime, which I absolutely love. So
yeah.
And then I have the RM4 14 wedges, 50, 54, and 58.
Yeah, super soft. Love the 14 stuff.
Yeah, really cool stuff. So probably a 9.2.
yeah, give yourself the rating.
I'm gonna. I mean, what I love about it is the mix of retro shafts with modern heads, which is kind of cool. Like I've built up some stuff. I've got a Diamond Blue Board 93X that I've tossed in a 4-wood back in the day and stuff that I still have in my drawer. So I'm gonna, with the kind of the retro shafts, which I love. Like you've kind of put together like the cult classic bag. It's a bunch of stuff that, while yes, it's not brand new and like the latest and greatest, it's stuff that guys search eBay for, and that's what's kind of cool. And the guys who know why it's still in the bag, and the guys who don't just go, oh, he's just got an older 3-wood, or he's got an older whatever, and they don't understand what it is. So the tour concept, the what's going to drop it down for me a little bit is the odd iron combo set, and I get it, like I totally get it, but I thought
I understand.
Where the 785 I felt was just like it was a little too stretched out heel to toe, and it just wasn't my favorite Z series of the Strixon line. I preferred the 45s and 65s
and
a little bit more.
I will add to this. It's not my favorite thing to look at, but I cannot help how it does what it does.
Yep.
So I'm pretty visual when it comes to golf clubs, but there's only 2 clubs, and I can look away for those 2 clubs because of how it performs for me. So, but I've got in 2 weeks, we're doing a whole new fitting with Strixon and getting dialed in with all new stuff. So that'll be fun to
be
do.
Sweet.
Yeah.
So I'm, like this one, I'm going to rate high. I mean, one, I absolutely love rusty raw putters. Like that's a soft spot for me. I'm just a big fan of. I mean, I would play all my irons, wedges, and putter all raw if I could get it. And just
I listened to an episode where you went to a motorcycle shop and really like you de-chromed all your clubs.
Oh, gee,
that might have been Strixon clubs, weren't
they? They were the first ZX7s. I literally got them in January. I had them a week. I think I went to the range once, took them to this shop, had them stripped, along with like a wedge and something else, and then rebuilt them back up. Yeah. And they were great. They were awesome. And then I ended up giving them away to as a little giveaway thing. So somebody out there got them, and I never saw them again. Like they never tagged me, never did anything with them. So I don't know what they did with them.
We'll make sure we'll hunt them down.
We will hunt them. I love raw.
Will find them.
The wedges are raw too. The arm for it. Yeah.
Well, that actually helps even more because you didn't say that there. So I'm gonna go. With the it's a bummer they don't make any of the Addis stuff anymore because that's kind of a bummer because Addis was ultra smooth, super cool. I loved the old Elements lime green stuff they made. I mean, there was a bunch of cool Addis stuff. So I'm gonna go, honestly. I'm gonna go with 8.6.
Okay, I dig it. I
think it's like I said. It's to me like I would nickname it the cult classic bag. Like it's just got a lot of heavy hitters from a little while ago that guys still search for today and love to have as either gamers or backup pieces because they were just that good. And that's a whole bag full of those things.
Well, so the mini driver I built it with that 2016 M2 head.
Driver
head.
Head. Oh yeah, which is an absolute cannon. Who is it?
Justin Rose was just playing. It was really good. Like it performed very well. It did exactly what I wanted it to do.
Yeah, Justin Rose, I think still puts it in the bag from time to time. Like he's still playing it. It's
his
that
worst
good.
move was switching to that Homa group. Like I don't know why he did that because he was rolling with Taylor.
He was. Well,
he was rolling.
Money talks, man.
Money. I can't say I wouldn't switch either if it was. Yeah.
I mean,
price was right. All right, let's see if you can beat an 8.6, sir.
All right.
You should be able to. Get snobby golf clubs.
Well,
I mean, I like the well.
Let's see here, because I mean, I got it. There's pros and cons at every bag when I look at it. There's pros and cons. Where I mean, we started with driver. TSI 3 was a great stick. I had one of those. I really liked it. What shaft do you got in that?
Everything's
all like stock.
Okay.
Let's go get it real quick.
Okay.
Just go get it.
He's got it right there. Oh, pull it out.
Just go get it, man. Your bag's right here.
It's like me. It's like, I just have like
it's his girlfriend. Oh shit. Oh, he shaft skinned it.
So it has a shaft.
Oh, that's right. He shaft skinned. That's right. So he doesn't know what it is.
I don't know what.
It's a shaft skin.
It's a shaft skin. It's a shaft skin.
I loved it though. Like that shaft skin kind of reminds me of the old Fujikura Motore series when they had the original Motore F1, and it was like that racing
you've been
green.
2 points.
I like the originality of the shaft skin. It's a little bummer that it's hard now to figure out exact what's in the bag, but I do respect.
I'm sure we could look up what the stock shaft was.
Yeah, I mean it's a.
There were a handful.
Yeah, you could probably pick a different one.
I think it's
Tensei Blue.
I don't Tensei. Yeah, blue.
The Tensei Blue. Yep. Okay.
Whatever. We're guessing now. So
I'm pretty sure that's what it was.
Okay.
The LTD 3 wood 4 wood with the Pro Accelerate was a great shaft. Now, does Accelerate is it the black and yellow one? Well, you probably don't know because you covered it up.
No. So I took the shaft skin. I'm going to re-shaft skin all my clubs for the World Amp, but it is yellow and it's the yellow and gray.
Yellow and gray, yeah, great colorway. Love that thing there. Really good shaft. TSR 3 hybrid, which is really solid. I love the new look of that thing. They really shaped the 3 way better than the previous 3. TSI 3, I played it for a short time. It was just too small, too compact. The TSR 3 is really, really much better. T200s are great. I play the 4 and 5 iron of them. I love the T200s. What did you go stock in that? Is it like an AMT?
Yeah,
black or AMT black.
Project X. 6.0.
All right.
Rifle.
The standard Project X. Okay, so that's not 100% stock. It's a little low spin. And then you got the 54-degree RM4. Is that raw or chrome?
It's chrome. It's chrome.
We have to knock a little off there. SM7s. I like the SM7s. They were a little too big and edgy for me. I like the 8s and 9s a little better, but the SM7 I still have a 46 degree in my arsenal there. And then Seymour's super underrated. Those private reserve stuff, the MX5s. I mean, this stuff is super underrated. Their milling work and stuff like that is really, really good on the Seymour stuff. I've got one of the Platinum M5 or H5 mallets, and it's a phenomenally built putter. I wish I could make more putts with it because it's just a damn good putter.
Love it. The center shaft is what I've always just played. I played for the longest time I had a G2 or a G5 crazy. Center shaft.
Wow.
And so that's what I was rocking for the longest time.
What golf ball you play?
Titleist.
Probably 1X.
Left dash.
Yeah.
Speaking of left dash,
I play the Shrixon Diamond.
I was looking up on eBay for the left dot. People were selling the left dot 6 dozen for $1,000.
Whoa.
On eBay. I don't know. I just saw that
Stick with
earlier.
Shrixons.
Yeah,
I'll keep the left dash.
I'm good without that. That's a little rough. So I mean, I like this bag a lot. Like I said, a fan of the T200s, that LTD. I think the LTD in some aspects, some guys in the fairway wood style, I think the LTDs might be even better than the Aerojet in the fairways. I think they're just a little more stable. So I really like that. And again, that Pro Accelerate was kind of a cool shaft. You don't see much of anymore.
So with that shaft, that's actually what my dad's a very good a very good golfer. He was
qualified for the senior.
He played in the U.S. senior last year.
Yeah.
Wow, that's awesome.
He went to Virginia Tech and he was on the Virginia Tech weightlifting team, completely the opposite of me. So he's all muscle, and so all he does is just like rip it. And so he just has a guy that he emails and is like, "Hey, I need a 3 wood," and the guy's like knows
what he
dad, how he hits it and everything. So he's like, just use this. So that one is not made for me, but I've found a way to use it.
You're a good player. You've adjusted.
That's what I do. That's what I do.
Good players adjust.
Good players adjust, man. They figure it out, and it's usually pretty quick. With this though, I'm unfortunately, I don't know if I can have you beat Salty here.
No, I understand.
You can. It's fine. If he's beat me, he's beat me. I can take it like a man.
I think with this combination of some of the older and newer stuff and all that, I think I'm going to give it an 8-3.
Okay, I'll take it.
I love the
I'm going
putter.
to enjoy dinner tonight.
Yeah.
What really pushed it over was the 2016 M2 fairway. Is just, I mean, that's got a special place in my heart. I don't have one anymore. I'm a little bummed I got rid of it, but that was a great piece.
Yeah. Everything in my bag is for sale.
Make me an offer.
That's awesome.
Yeah,
that's cool. So, based on the bags, you want to guess handicaps? We'll finish it up with that. I don't even know where we are on the 9th. We've gone far enough. Can you guess handicaps?
I'm gonna get because I've listened to a couple shows, so I know you guys aren't just like you're not 25 handicap type guys. So I know you guys are good players. You play in a lot of events, so that kind of helps with going down. But strictly going on bag, I would say if I walked up and I got paired with Salty and I just walk up, all I see is the bag at first. I don't see him yet, just the bag. He's over putting, doing whatever he's doing. I'm gonna be a little worried. Because the way that bag's set up and knowing like this guy's got an odd iron combo set. I get it, but I don't get it. And, just seeing that bag, I'm going to say that this guy's kind of a low, like 5'6". Like he's going to be a player. Like you're going to have to worry about putting some money on the line with Salty.
Yeah.
And then
I'm trending at a 5.5 right now, but I'm posted at a 3.3.
That's
3.3.
But
that's pretty good. That's pretty pretty heavy. And then with Bucks,
you nailed it, man. That's awesome.
that's all. Yeah, no, that's pretty accurate. Yeah.
I'm gonna, looking at his, I'm gonna see, hey, again, same thing. Like you've got some pieces in there that are.
I got some badass head covers too, so that's really gonna you're gonna be like, fuck, man.
Well, that or they're just tube socks. Like that's the two things.
Right, those are
badass or tube socks. You've got some problems.
Exactly.
But with Bucks, you're looking at it and you're going, this guy's pretty good. He knows he needs a little help with the iron, so he went T200s instead of going, 100s or 150s or blades or something. So he kind of knows his game a little bit. And I'm going to say you're probably right around me at like a 9-10.
It doesn't. No. I'm probably.
Look it up. You're a 3.3 just like me right now.
I'm a 3.5, but
Wow.
Just 3.5 right now.
Wow. The T200s threw me way off on that one.
Right. Well, he's lazy. That's
very lazy.
That's what it is.
Very,
very lazy. The T200s don't have to put a lot into the game. It's still going to go where it needs to go.
Yeah. Well, again, all looks, I think it's a sexy bag. Just look again. Yeah. I always think that the irons are really good looking, so that's why I went.
Like I said, I look at a guy who's a good player and he's good enough to know, hey, here's my weakness. It's my iron game. I get something with a little bit of help. Still a great iron. Good, looks good, feels good, sounds good. It just gives me a little help, and that's the only reason I put you up a little higher.
No, I get it.
You can totally play to a 10.
I could.
Yeah.
And you've seen it. Oh, in the World Am, I will have 2 rounds with like an 8. Like I will blow up.
Yeah. Well, you know this. Like, first of all, I effing hate handicaps. Like it's all based on potential and all that crap,
Yeah.
Right. So the chances of you I think I read something, the chances of you shooting what your handicap are, you're going to do that 1 out of every 12 times you tee it up.
Oh, that makes sense.
I read something like that. And then when you get into tournament golf, like it's a completely different monster.
100%.
Like it is different, man. It is absolutely different.
Oh yeah.
I listened to one of your early shows. I think it was like I only got through like half of it, but the first time, and you were talking Salty about something about playing in a shootout at a club.
I thought I was going to pass out, man.
Dude, I played my first one 2 years ago, and same thing. We walked off. It was true alternate shot off the first tee. It was like 12 flights, 11 flights. Yeah, I think you guys had 16, but same thing. There's 11 balls in play, and my partner just bombs a drive right down the middle, and I'm sitting there with a bunch of carts up on the green and everything around you, and I've got to hit a 105-yard wedge into this green with a bunker sitting right in front.
Right.
And the pin's directly behind it, and it's like, holy crap, man. Like my heart must have been beating 1,000 beats a minute. It was brutal. So
I told my partner, Big Tone, who's usually he's got stuff going on, so he's not on the show tonight. But I told him after I hit that shot on the green, I said, I don't know how much longer I can do this, man. Like we got to close this out quick or get closed out because I'm going to pass out, man.
Yeah.
It's just different. But I love it. I love it. I absolutely love it.
We ended up tying, and they basically said we're eliminating like 3 groups every hole. Like you're getting eliminated. We're not. So we were in the group that all tied with like a bogey. And they went to a chip off. Well, true alternate shot. My partner, the member, is a phenomenal short game guy. Chipping putting is absolutely amazing, but it's my shot because he tapped in the putt. So I've got to hit this little upper, like elevated green, little wedge shot to the green, and I'm like, and everybody has to turn around so you can't see what the other guy does. So you just turn around and hit your shot. Thankfully, I hit it to like 2 feet. We were the closest guy, but I was shaking. All I did, the whole swing was like, don't chunk it, and that's all I thought about the whole swing was just don't chunk it, and it was I was dying.
It's awesome.
So,
that's a good story to end on.
Yes, Brian.
I could literally do this all night long with you, but we'd lose people. Would like, what are they doing?
But we'd love to have you back on again. Yeah. Thank you so much for.
We'd love to have you down, man. Come down for a weekend. Bring the wife and the kids. There's plenty for them to do down here in Myrtle Beach too, and we'll get you set up and.
For sure,
we'd love to have you down, do some content on a course, and that'd be a lot of fun. Yeah,
it'd be a blast, man. I'd come down, 2 full bags. I'd have to have my own cart, and roll around 2 bags.
I'll walk around and pouting, and it'll be great. It'll be a lot of fun.
Just wait for me to give you something. I just put it in front of you.
Fuck, you think he's going to give me that? I really like that right there.
I think so. Stare at him a little more. Maybe it works.
Yeah.
We'll get him drunk enough on the Salty Golfer beer, and he'll just be giving things away. Be
true.
Yeah.
This body wasn't made by healthy drinking, so
right.
I've had a beer too in my time.
Awesome. All right, Brian, thank you so much for coming on, man. We really appreciate it. We had a blast tonight.
Thank you so much.
Appreciate it, man. Loved it. Bye.